in the communication settings, whatever the different modes of communication, we always generate the content for a set of people. Whether you are writing a simple email or writing a Facebook post or writing a learning educational content or creating a television serials for one set of audience. In every context, you have to be very clear about your target audience. There are many ways in which the media organization create a profile of their target audience. If you look at the newspapers, through market research, they always find out the nature of their target group. Indirectly, based on the profile of the audience, they'll customize their delivery, customize a news presentation, customize their television serials or the film programs. Take the Bollywood films. If you look at their films for the last 5 years, 10 years, they might maintain one pattern of screenplay. They always target for one segment. Film should satisfy. Remember that, the word satisfaction. The audience, whoever goes to that particular film, they should get satisfied. Of course, they are going because of their favorite star is being involved in that screenplay. Beyond that, the 2 hours or 1.5 hours or 3 hours package needs to maintain their attention. They should get gratified, satisfied, entertained. And carefully, the producers or filmmakers, they carefully craft their package to suit the target audience of particular star. Very carefully they'll do that. Similarly, newspapers, radio, television, everywhere, mainstream media are commercially in nature. They have to survive. They have to make a profit. A profit will come based on the response from the audience. And reviews also plays a role on that. That influences the audience plan to watch the film. Whatever method of getting a feedback, ultimately the success of box office is based on the money collected that. So it indirectly reflects the reach, and if they are able to reach out to the target audience at the same time satisfying that particular group, box office is 100 crore, 200 crore, 300 crore is considered as a successful effort. Similarly, what kind of people they are reaching out, that also make difference in the newspaper survival tactics. The purchasing behavior of your audience target group is little higher than national average. You will get a big advertisers. Corporates will come, they'll sponsor whatever money fixed by as per the circulation figures. Higher the circulation, better the number of advertisements and better the revenue. And how do you retain the number of audience? All depends upon how you're crafting your articles, your presentation techniques, the stand you are taking, and editorial policies. In all these efforts, if they're able to maintain their loyalty of their readers for the considerable period of time, then circulation figures goes up, or at least retained, readership rate goes up. That will fetch them good number of advertisements in the regional level or national level. The newspaper economics, if you read it clearly, and a major chunk of media production, news production, is directly linked with the number of advertisers are coming or sponsoring your space or time. Either news channels, television, radio. Again, the TRP ratings. Now the TRP ratings are different level, but historically, the television rating points plays a crucial role. But here in this context, I am quoting TRP. The sense is the response of number of audience watching the particular program. Whether it's a box office hit or circulation figure or rating point of radio or television, all that reflects the quantum of audience spending their time with your product. Sustaining or retaining or mobilizing more number of people leads to better profit, better reach, better influence. the influence can be monetized. Monetized in the sense the media organization can make a profit out of that influence. Influence means if you have millions of people under your media brand, corporates will be keen to reach out to them. It's the easiest way for them to reach out, because the particular newspaper or particular brand of channels, they know these are their profile of the audience. So newspapers or magazines or television channels are there mobilizing the audience into one segment, one place. So corporates easy to reach out to them, and it's a win-win situation for both the corporates as well as for the media companies as well as for the audience. If there are no advertisers, then we have to spend more money to buy a newspaper. It's quite complex and everybody gets a benefit. But audience are the crucial main segment of any communication settings. So the definition wise is a collection of group, and they are part and parcel of any media operation. It's crucial. Without that, no communication can prolong or exist in whatever manner. So that's the definition, theoretical point of view. That historically, if you look at the audience role in communication settings, changed over the period of time. Initially, we have used the word audience pre-electronic media or pre-print media period. Many public meetings, public communication settings happens in a group level or in the face-to-face level. People come there and sit there and listen to the spiritual leader or the influencer or public figure or celebrity. They spare the time and they'll speak, they'll listen. So that is the starting point. Then if you look at the mainstream media's chronological order, the newspapers, rather than coming physically, the messages reaches to the individual audience. And they call it as a reader because they are reading the content, newspaper or magazines. Then the radio television came, and based on their profile, based on the nature of communication, we called listeners if it is a radio station, or if it is a television, we call it as a viewers. Same is applicable to film goers or film audience, we can say like that. When the internet came in a digital media platform, we are using the term called user, internet user, mobile user, application user, mobile app user. Here we are not using the term listener or viewer or reader, because perhaps we have to have a common term, because here all these characteristics are inbuilt in digital media. Here in a digital or online platform, the interactivity is much beyond the traditional mass media level. Here information needs to be extracted rather than being received by the other medium. So other mainstream media, the audience is mostly passive, but whereas in a digital media, it's quite active. Active in the sense information never delivered to you automatically, rather than you have to fine tune or explore or extract information. Go to the website, you have to type it, then go to the particular segment, then particular article, then you have to read it. If it is multimedia content, you have to take effort to play it around and choose a language or timing, speed. So everything, there is a lot of inputs required from the audience level here. Until late 90s, the audience are under one major category called passive audience. Passive audience in the sense informations are delivered to the people. So simply they have to sit, watch the film, or read the newspaper, or listen to the radio. So mostly the interaction is limited. Limited in the sense there's a substantial distance between the person who's sending the message and person who's receiving the message. It's not happening in the same room, not even the same city. And the scope of participation in the mainstream media are very limited, because highly centralized and professionally managed, and they can't accommodate all the viewpoints, all the inputs from the audience. So that is the inherent platform situation, environment in which the platform operates. It limits the audience participation. Since the digital media invention, popularity of social media, that audience profile got changed into active. So passive and active we can classify. Most crucially, being a student of communication, and when you are planning any communication efforts, particularly you need to know the age of your audience, how old is your audience, and what is their social and economic conditions of the audience. Because once you are able to relate with their conditions, able to understand the context in which the message is being constructed, it's easy to transact the content. If it is not useful to me, then how long I can maintain or be part of that program? Once I realize that I can't use it, I can't afford it, then I'll move on to the next section, next program, or next content, whatever thing. So we have to be very careful about that social and economic conditions of your target group. Their interest and newspapers' interest or your interest matching with all these major public issues, public policies, then there won't be any problem on that. In case the taste and the preferences of political matters, government policies, social issues, if there is a contradiction between the newspaper and their audience, so this is a challenging position, but at the same time understanding their preferences on major issues helps the organization to maintain the appropriate stand. And what are the common belief system, what kind of values and beliefs are traditionally, popularly present in your target group, and the social and moral values of the audience, what kind of values they are attaching it with education, religion, and work and other social institutions. Everything here matters, and as many information as possible, if you are able to collect, if you are able to understand the nuances of your target group, that makes your work easier, and that might guarantee the popularity or at least maintaining your current status quo. But on other hand, as being a media student, if you want to understand what are the target group of the particular newspaper, if you go through their content in a very holistic manner, in a very macro approach, if you do that, we can understand the target audience of any media group based on the content. Systematically, if you study that, through the content, we can understand the audience. From the at least from the other side of the audience, we can able to do that. Thank you.